Get your mat, get your weights, line up if you're walking wall to wall, stand up if you're walking in place. I said get a chair if you're gonna do chair exercises. Get your mats, jump on your bikes. Let's start this treadmill.
Power on. Move,
Ciao.
move.
Oh, let's get this party started right. Thanks for coming on the walk, y'all. Thanks for coming on the walk. Like, comment, share. Tell her uncle, tell her auntie, tell her cousin, tell her friend to subscribe and to please exercise. You can exercise with me. Yes, YouTube. My apologies. I'm back with the camera. Okay. All right. I looked at the YouTube videos. I look at the raw videos footage, and then I go to the YouTube footage. And y'all, I got no shapewear on. This is all me. So I'm squeezing my stomach to my spine to make sure this weight don't go on these knees. Ooh, y'all. Like, comment, share, tell uncle, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend to subscribe, y'all. Well, before we start with the topic at hand, let me tell y'all, I needed a rhythm man for T-Mobile. Y'all remember April 15th when I took off? I know a lot of y'all saying, oh, she's going for taxes. No. That's the only time my daughter had to take me to T-Mobile. And since she said she would be able to take me, I was saying, why can't I get me a rhythm man? Why can't I get a rhythm man? Oh, and in my head, I saw the perfect rhythm man to take with me to T-Mobile. He would be my grandson, but he'd be tattooed up, looking mean and nasty, you know, touching shit, like aggressively. And I said something like, oh, grandson, you want to come, you know, go out and come back and pick me when I finish up with this nice gentleman? And my rented man, grandson, would say, oh, no, I think I should stay, because he better treat you right. And then I said, don't worry about that. You ain't got to come back and tear up this store. He gonna do fair by your grandmother. And then my rented man, grandson, would leave. And then what wouldn't happen was that the contract my daughter had had for years that was less, got picked up $50. The Hulu that she had in her contract package got taken away. Yes. And I'm sitting there like, I'm just too old now to try to start a rent-a-man type of business. But I would. I would. So then, my daughter has to go back down there and act unbecoming a woman, unbecoming a lady. Women do what their men tell them to do. And she got them to take $30 off. They increased it by 50, they took it off by 30, and she can't get the Hulu back. And we had to pay some money when we was there, and she can't get that back. She can't get nothing. And she just looked at me. I like we was in the car together, and we just knew that if we had a renter man, that none of that would ever happen. Every time, ladies, I know in my case being African American, now being an African American woman that's old, I'm like a chicken just waiting to be plucked, honey. Ain't that something? So, from that transaction, and the transaction was me getting a new phone. I'm just supposed to get a new phone. Clear, clean. T-Mobile, new phone. No. We had to pay money. They took the contract that my daughter had away and made it more. And then she lost her Hulu. It never happened if we had her in a man. It never would have happened. I'm just too old now to start a business. I told y'all I wanted that since my daughter. I taught my daughter to drive. She's 45 now. She was 20 then. That's how long I know I've been getting served by these men's as contractors and stuff like that. Can you believe it? So we went there to exchange phone. We left owing more money, and then we had to leave money. Y'all. Oh. I can't even. I can't even. I can't even. I can't even. And the society, oh, thanks for coming on the walk. Hi. Thanks. I and they're allowed to do it. They're allowed to do it. They get away with it. But if I was young, if I had a grandchild, I would sit down and write everything. Because I have been putting this, my grandchild would have a whole business plan. From employment to scheduling to everything. Because every time I went into a place or anything with a contractor, and they turned around and screwed me, I would say, oh man, if I just had a rented man. I'll read your comments when we take our 20-minute break. We just 7 minutes in, child. So, I cringe. Electric man coming, cringe. That's a wipeout. It's a wipeout for men, but it is a clean sweep. African American women, who maybe European African women could fare better. But no, it's a clean sweep for us. Oh, just rent a man. I would just Google. Oh, getting ready to go to T-Mobile. Oh, let me see if I can get a rent a man. All right, $25 an hour. He could, you know what he'd have saved us? You know what he would have saved us if we took a rent a man with us at T-Mobile? He'd have saved us $175. So hell, even if we paid him $50 for 20 fucking minutes, we'd have still been on the better side. Now my daughter had to fight for them to do this, give this back, but then you have to go here to get this back, to do this, da. A rent-a-man, she wouldn't have had to go come back. She wouldn't have had to do Nathan. I don't say nothing. She would have had to do Nathan, honey. Nathan. We got G now. But back in the day, when it came time to get our car service, I would freak out, even if it was for oil change. I was like, are they going to do something to make something wrong so I have to take it to their cousin or their uncle or their grandpa? Yeah. Rent man, I got the whole business plan right here, and every time I have to do something with these men's on this penal colony. So, ain't that something? Whew. DNR, DNR, do not resuscitate. Whew. Well, you know, I also been thinking about reparation. If y'all go back to last year's summer, in the summer, no, around this time, I read H.R. 40, which was about reparation. That's when I found out that that whole thing is just for the HBCUs and they Greek people. It's ways for them to be employed, to put each other in higher positions so they can do the balls and the fundraisers. That's where that African American history blah blah blah, 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 blah is in Washington. But that's how they promote each other and give each other cushiony jobs. So after reading through this, and they just go to Congress every few years, Senate, to get them to release some money, and then they go back, and the HBCUs and the Greeks and the ain't no truth in there, because ain't nobody doing no research. Ain't nobody looking for the truth. So is a man taught social thing, Carter Woodson. So, y'all know we're going to go back at 65. Oh, thanks for coming on the walk. I'll read your comments when we take a break. We got about 8 minutes. Y'all know that, yeah, we're looking into reparation. And when I turned 65, I finally cried out to the universe. I said, I can't do it no more. I can't go on. I can't. I got to know some truth. I've been researching for so long. And they kept saying, well, you know the answer. You know the answer. I was like, no, I don't know the answer. I don't know why. These folks at that time, I was calling them white like y'all, because that's how I was taught. How could they hate for so many centuries? I've been looking at other things and other cultures, but to hate the black African for all these centuries, I couldn't understand. So I said, listen, y'all, I'm 65. You gotta tell me, I gotta know. Because them folks been hating it and stepping on me, making sure I ain't get shit, make sure I don't go nowhere. And I ain't never did nothing to them. I ain't never broke no law. I don't even steal candy from a store. One time in the Bronx, I had a habit of looking at the inquiry stuff while you stand in those long lines at Pathmark. And when we got up, I forgot and took the inquiry, tucked it underneath my arm, did the packaging, got outside, and my daughter said, "My, you stole that inquiry." Oh, I almost lost my shit. I was like, no, I didn't steal it, I don't steal, I don't know. I took it back in, they laughed at me. statement. You know? So, I said, you gotta tell me. I ain't never broke no law, but I am treated like a criminal every day I wake up on this penal colony. They drag us out of cars. This whole law system, what is going on? And of course, you know. And then I did a lot of reading. And if you do a lot of reading, sometimes when you go back, you could almost see like the paragraph. You could see, you kind of see the flash of the book or the picture, just flashes. And every time they say, you know, I would see different paragraphs of Africans in Europe. Remember, I was making African American theme park. I did the concept. And you would see them every now and again. And then you would hear little things. But I wouldn't accept that. I was like, how are we going to be over in Europe ruling? They said they dug us from the jungles. So then the universe said, why would and how could they take all these millions from out of Africa? The universe was saying, don't play Africa. It ain't that easy. There's a lie somewhere. I said, wait a minute. Now I know the continents was closer. And I know that the African country was more developed than the others. And I know they went all over trading and everything. So they said, don't stop there. So I said, I don't know. So then a flash, a picture came to me. The royals. Because I was into the royals too. Because remember, everything we learned here is about England. They said New World, no penal colony. Okay, I'm jumping ahead. So I said, well, yeah, because I used to get the thick coffee table stuff. I worked at the library. So anytime I see anything with the royals, stuff like that, especially, and all of a sudden I said, I've always had the art of seeing Africans, and it doesn't matter, European, Asians, natives, you can see the touch of the black African. But people tell me I was crazy, so I kept it to myself. But I'm looking, and I remember the pictures of the royals, and I was like, they look like light-skinned black people. Then I was like, no. We taught in school that the only Africans were running around all in the jungles. If they taught us anything about Africans, it was basically they were just running around in the jungles just killing each other. Unlifing each other. They ain't saying nothing else, so I'm not able to accept this. Yeah, we were traders. And I know from their teaching of me the history and the Vikings and stuff, I know that the Europeans were not as developed. I know that. And if you do a little research, you'll know too. So, again, the universe said, remember all those pictures? And I said, yeah, but those were the earlier ones that had their skin looking like, we would call them light-skinned black people. But then, as it got older, I remember when I was looking at them, I was like, they're pink. How come they got this pink? And then they're white. Why are they covering their face with this pink and white makeup? The same reason they doing it now. We call it passing on this penal colony. We call it passing. Trying to wipe out any trace of African in you. But see, yeah, European or Asian or whatever on the outside. But inside, you're African. And you know it. Your history knows it. Whew. So, let's take a break. I don't know if I can get this song going for us. I'm going to try again. But this phone ain't acting right, y'all. It keep going off. I think it done seen its finest days. I think it done seen its best days. Yeah, y'all. Ooh, let me take off my glasses and... Hi, y'all. Thanks for coming on the walk. Hey, Jacob. Pierce, thanks for coming on the walk. Oh, thank you for the love. How old am I? I'm 66. Hey, Camille Davis. Hello. Thanks for coming on the walk. Casey, thanks for coming on the walk. Hey, you're white and you like my race? You're European African, Casey. You're supposed to like my race. It's part of you. Good. You said your race be doing too much. No, they're just European Africans that's trying to pretend like they're something else. That's all they are. But thanks for coming on the walk. They cousins. That's why we can't, that's why we as black Africans don't get real mad at them. Because we know they're cousins. But I like you. I like my cousins. Yep, you can sit us all at a table and we will go from the darkest of the dark of Africa to the lightest of the European Africans. You see? That's why all this stuff don't make no sense. Like you said, he's doing too much. You need to stop. Just embrace and move on. So, okay, let's get back to reparation. So, now, I'm like, to the universe, I'm like, okay, because I'm asking him, how could you spend so many years, millenniums, and you still come out, the black cat is bad, this bad, black plague, black this, blah, blah. Years later, the COVID would be known as the black COVID. So I was like, why is everything black bad? And the universe again said, you know. And I said, no, I don't know. And they flash again. The royal family coming. The French royal family. And I remember when I looked at them, I said to myself, what them light-skinned Africans doing there? So, I got my answer. You go back to last year, year before last, because I shared it with you on the walk. That's what it is. That's why century and century not going to change. Even my dear friend who's walking with me, European Africans, it's not a bad thing. When you know your history, you know it's a good thing. And we can grow on, and we can grow on. But, so let me get back to reparation. So, I said, okay. And then when you look at those pictures of the boats, how they have it filled with the Africans that they said they went over to Africa to get and bring over to this penal colony and other penal colonies, because they all had them. Going back to the picture, look hard at those French pictures. You'll see the African, because it was the color of the time. You see? Anyway, so I said, well, what is looking at the pictures? Yeah, I know, I can see the African in them. They said, no, you're not seeing. This is a penal colony. They didn't drag you from no African. They dragged your ass out of Europe. They dragged your ass out of Europe and stripped you and put you on ships and sent you to the penal colony. This is a penal colony, Jamaica penal colony, Barbados penal colony. So many that crown, that man, that prick in the crown, and his bald-headed son, and all them royals that y'all be kissing asses, where they get their money from, like this penal colony and others. So I said, oh. So I said, well, that's why. Now I understand. So, the first folks brought to these penal colonies, y'all call it diaspora and all that kind of bullshit. Y'all going for the drag out. Yes, eventually they go to Africa. But you know what they went to Africa for? To get out the black African Europeans and put them on penal colonies. Anyway, so now it makes sense. As long as they are European Africans, they are going to persecute, do everything, because this penal colony is here for the black Africans, not them. So I said, now I get it. Now I get it. That's why. Then after Emancipation Proclamation, we were still deemed born in blood inmate criminals. That's why they burned down Greenwood. As they call it, Black Wall Street. Y'all probably trying to bring back something that this country had deemed to be a criminal organization. Ran by born and blood inmate criminals, African Americans. Ain't that something? That's why you couldn't get into good neighborhoods, because you were labeled born in blood inmate criminals. You couldn't go to the good schools, born in blood inmate criminals. Okay, yeah. Y'all see that leg going? I gotta squeeze. Yeah. Yep. We kept saying, oh, they didn't want us there because we're like, no. On this penal colony, we're the reason for our ancestors, the reason for the penal colony. And we were enslaved. Every generation after that was enslaved. Switched around, back and forth. Thanks for the love. Switched around, back and forth. And I was like, that's what it is. That's what it is. We're labeled. That's why we couldn't vote. Because just like in prison, prisoners couldn't vote. That's why we couldn't vote. Because we are considered born in blood inmate criminals. I'll read your comments after. Ooh, we got about 13 minutes. And I don't have my support thing because I didn't have enough time. And I gotta remember to push my belly button to the back. Okay. So that's why they didn't want you eating at Woolworth, because you were labeled a born in blood inmate criminal. No, you didn't break the law. But this penal colony, which is a penal colony, was made for your ancestors. So every blood born from them is a born in blood inmate criminal. So I was like, that's why. And it does give me comfort sometimes when I realize where I am in life and how hard I tried to change my situation and didn't. And then I just asked for understanding. So, okay, going back to reparation. So, I said, oh, it originally came out through Grant. Grant has said that if the enslaved black Africans and European Africans, because this penal colony has millions and millions of European Africans. Some decide to go with the black African side, and some decide to go with the European side, and the ones that go with the European side make our lives a living hell. Because their whole thing is, ain't no African in me. Ain't no African in me. See? I just made sure none of them black African Americans get hired. Why? Because ain't no African in me. And they say, oh yeah, ain't no African in you. You is really a unicorn. DNR. So, I said, okay. So they said, this is a penal colony. And I started comparing it to the brick and mortar prisons. And, yeah, it is. We got our tablets because the prisons got it. And then they said, oh, how can we give free tablets to inmates and not give it to the seniors or the poor people who need it? Got kids in school. See, so nothing is really done for the residents of the penal colony. War for the prisons, honey. So, now, in the brick and mortar prisons, they have stuff where, like, you're wrongly convicted. And you can come out and you can sue. That's reparation. But, now, I read one case where someone was able to remain in jail and still sue for something. Maybe not the charge, but anyway. So I said, wait a minute here now. We can't sue the penal colony for reparation for unjust imprisonment and working of our ancestors because we're still on the penal colony. We're still in the prison. They're not going to give us anything. We're still born in blood inmate criminals. But if we got off and went to another country and sued the United States government for reparation and use your family tree and get the lawyers from the country that you're in. Get your lawyers to set precedents in that foreign country and sue the hell out of these folks. Sue for $95 fucking billion. That's what they sending over there to Ukraine, right? Ain't that something? And now it makes sense why I was trying to get off this penal colony when I was younger. I just knew I wanted to get off. But now it's making sense. Yes, I would be the one suing this fucking penal colony for my grandfather. Sheer fucking cropper. You made sure he ain't had shit. You made sure he ain't had shit. We all carry his name. You ain't give him shit. Made his life a living hell and all the rest of the family. And we ain't fair no better. My poor mother ran out of Virginia coming up here. Oh, she want to go to school. We can go to school in the north. She ain't know these Italian Africans, these Irish Africans wasn't going to give her shit. They hate the African in them, so they hate the African that they see. She went looking for a house. Couldn't get a house. My grandfather, like I said, was a sharecropper. Couldn't even buy fucking land. That's why I can't go out with the senior citizens group and stuff like that. I can't see there and listen to them. Oh, when I came to this country, it was so wonderful. We worked so hard and we were able to buy a house. I want to say, bitch, we worked hard too, but they didn't allow us to buy a fucking house. Shut up. So that's why I don't go around. I can't join seniors groups or nothing like that. They held the houses for you. Just like in the colleges. If your daddy graduated from college, you go to his college like, oh, he went to his daddy alma mater. No, he went to his daddy discount school. Where positions and student numbers and shit is held for daddy and his kids. And everybody else is blocked out. I'd be, if my daughter Damar said, Mommy, she going to Ghana, I'd say, yes, go ahead, and I would send you every dollar to start suing these bitches here. Get your grandfather's money, which is your great-grandfather. Treated him like shit. Worked him, let's go even further back because we can tap into enslavement. Ain't that something? So if you, as they call it, expatriate in any African, Spanish, any country, put in your claim, sue this government for reparation. You can't sue because we can't sue because we're still on the penal colony. You have to be off the penal colony in order to sue. Now I know brick and mortar prisons, they sue all the time for lunch and different things like that, and clothes and kosher food and all kind of shit like that. That's little stuff. There's no way they're going to hand out a big, large sum of money to who they label born in blood inmate criminals who's still here on the penal colony. They consider that giving money to criminal enterprise because I'm a criminal. You see? So if they give me reparation, they would be giving money to a criminal enterprise. But the HBC use reparation so they can get their little money, so they can do their little museums, and they can do their little balls and galas and Jack and Jill bullshit. That's what they want it for. But I'm telling you, if you're an expat, go talk to a lawyer. You got a case. You got a case and you will win. Track back your ancestors. Yep. You will win. Yes. But you can't do it here because it's a penal colony. And on this penal colony, we are labeled born in blood inmate criminals. You ain't getting no reparation because we will be using it for criminal enterprises. That's why I look at these fools. Oh, we're going to do Black Wall Street. I was like, okay. But the government deemed that a criminal enterprise. So go ahead and build it up so they can come through and burn it up again. It's a criminal enterprise. No reparation. We're labeled born in blood inmate criminals. The government is not going to give money to us so we can do criminal enterprises. The only thing that this government doesn't see as a criminal enterprise is a church or any cult. Any cult you can do. They can take in millions and billions as long as it's a cult. But on the individual, we're born in blood inmate criminals on this penal colony, and we ain't getting shit. And that's why it's going over there to all those European African countries. Yep. Whew. I didn't have my support on y'all. I made it through. But y'all know I was trying to hold this weight up here, but somehow it's getting down to my thigh and my leg. And we got 2 minutes and it can't get here fast enough. This is what we're gonna call push through minute. Push through, push through, push through, push through. Belly button in the back, 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 belly button in the back. Push through, push through, push through, push through, push through, push through, push through. Belly button in the back, belly button in the back, belly button in the back. Hip forward, back, back, back. Squeeze your gut. Push through, push through, push through. Yes, yes. Push through, y'all. Oh, oh yeah. I will have my support on tomorrow, I'll tell you that. Okay, belly button to the back. Belly button to the back. Bend your knees, bend your knees. Put your weight on your thighs. Put your weight on your thighs. Yeah, that helps. Woo. Woo. We did it, y'all. We did it. We did it. And I didn't even have my shades on to hold this weight up. Oh, oh, good thighs, good knee. I don't want to offend them more than I already have. Ooh. Y'all. Yeah. Any expat looking at this, go find y'all a lawyer. Go find you a lawyer. Because the minute I'm still alive and my daughter claim residence or partial residence in any other country, we gonna fucking sue this bitch. This penal colony for reparation. Yeah, y'all. Ooh. But as long as we're here, this is a penal colony, we're labeled inmate, born in blood, inmate criminals. We ain't get nothing. That's why y'all ain't getting no really good Medicare, Medicaid, any really good government supplemental things. They base it on the fact that they don't want to give us shit. So then they don't give you nothing. You see? But that's been going on for a long time. You know, we used to be upset because we used to say, oh, they don't want us living in their neighborhood. Yeah, that was true, but you know what? They knew when we came, the police would come. You didn't know that. They knew that when we moved in the neighborhood with others than just African Americans, they knew that the patty rollers would come. And they do come. Because they know we are labeled born in blood inmate criminal. So wherever we are, they feel they have to be because we're labeled born in blood inmate criminals. So a lot of neighborhoods, they don't want you to move in. Because they know if you're African American, you're bringing the patty rollers with you. Squeeze your gut. Tuck in your elbow. Neither up nor down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and one for good luck. Okay? On the other side. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it's all about. And that's what the Black Wall Street, they burnt that to the ground. Yeah, the government came and dropped bombs. All that happened. Y'all, because it's black, because it's black. because you're labeled born in blood inmate criminals because it's a penal colony where your ancestors were brought to in the prison when they was kicked out of Europe. So yes, well, leave. Wherever you're going, you get a couple of millions, you stay there living, you want to boost the economy, I assure you, you'll be able to find a lawyer to come over here and get these bitches. Squeeze your gut, tuck in your elbow, neither up nor down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and one for good luck. I'm waiting for my daughter to get her dual Ghana American passport, and she should know because we got all the documents. Get a good lawyer to come and boost the whatever country you in economy. Oh, I'm gonna read the comments, y'all. Let me go. Hello, okay, Camille. Yes, Camille. Thanks for coming on the walk, and thanks for sticking with the walk. Yeah, all of them are doing too much. Hey, Jen. Thanks for coming on the walk, y'all. Like, comment, share. Tell a uncle, tell a auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend to subscribe. Have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming on the walk.